Thanks for the heads up on that, Lynn.
Yeah, thanks.
So it doesn't look like we actually have an agenda set up for today. But we do have quite a few people in attendance. Are there pressing issues we should talk about, or any of these documents in the still in review status that we should be moving down? I'm going to interpret that as a no, in which case this may be a very short meeting.
I'll sort of bring up a conversation that we started a little bit before the new year. And it actually is relevant to this meeting because we were deciding if we wanted to continue having two distinct meetings, one for ambient and one general meeting. You know, I'll take today as a good example where I know we've got a good example that illustrates the pros and the cons. So you've got a topic on the ambient meeting, on the ambient call, doesn't necessarily make sense to wait an hour for that call to have that conversation. In fact, we're lost to have more conversation. On the other hand, the person who is leading that call is planning to likely attend just that meeting. So for people who have ambient specific topics, they would join the later meeting versus this meeting. And if we were more fluid in our topic discussions, it would be maybe more difficult for people to be able to plan to be here. So we should probably have a conversation about that to figure out what we want to do moving forwards to take advantage of having everybody here and respecting the time of our community members.
Thanks, Keith. I think that makes sense. We can certainly carry this forward as evidence that two calls are, well, at least for this week, two calls are not needed, it seems.
And for last week, I think we did use most of the two calls.
Yeah, it seems to vary from week to week for sure.
Yeah, and I do think if we merge it into a 2-hour meeting in general, I do think a 2-hour meeting is a little bit too long. So that's the other thing to consider. We could potentially maybe do one meeting in some other day of the week, so we don't have like two meetings jumped up together for 2 hours.
Yeah, that does seem like a possibility. Let's see. Trying to look through what we did last week to get an idea for how much work there was. Looks like mostly what we talked about was release-related problems and something about external control planes.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong. I think last time we didn't use the full hour. So how about we just merge into one meeting, keep it an hour, and then if we need more time, we just find maybe another day for another hour. So we run the community meeting twice. Would that make more sense? I just hate to have like a 2-hour block for everyone's calendar, especially it's also right in our lunchtime too.
Yeah, I think moving down to one weekly meeting with maybe an optional or as needed extended meetings for when there's a particular document we need to dig into or a topic that requires more time.
That sounds
Should
good.
we kind of review that proposal? Let's see, probably in the ambient working group, and then we can get any other TOC members. Bi-weekly TOC meetings could be helpful. I think that's a great point. So we'll talk about this a little bit at ambient to get anybody who's not present now's input, and then I imagine we can drop it in the TOC channel to get like Louis' feedback, etc.
Sounds good. And then we could potentially change it in February or maybe middle February. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, let's see. Encourage you all to take a look at the ambient meeting agenda. There's some links from last week. Oh, wait, no, there isn't a link. Okay, I'll provide a link to some of the conversation about Spire in ambient mode so that you can read up in advance of the conversation if you would like. And I'll see you all at 10.
All right. See you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye all.